We have the opportunity to meet with David Bruner, who's the spiritual leader for the Center for Spiritual Living. David, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your church. How long have you been here in Willow Glen?
The center's been here since 1956. It has been at its current location on Clark Street since the early 70s.
And roughly how many in your congregation?
We have 700 active people, and Sunday attendance is about 500, and Wednesday nights are about 100.
And how many services do you have on
We
Sundays?
have two on Sunday. We have the early service, which I see sort of the spiritual aerobicists. They know what they want and they come there to get it. And the second service is a bit more lively and crowded, and it's an amazing celebration.
Now, I walked into your meeting room sanctuary, and I noticed that you've got a lot of banners that run around the outside. Can you tell me about those?
Yes, it was, and it still is, the intention of the center to be as interfaith as possible. We are, and I particularly am interested in where faith traditions are similar as opposed to where they're different. I do like to think of my mother and father, the Catholics, why it is that their prayers work. And I have friends who are Buddhists and their chants seem to work. And I have atheist friends who are focused on intellectual energy, and why does that work? And the center is invested in bringing about a practical spirituality that uses good wherever we find it, whether it's Buddhist, Taoist, Hindu, Jew, Christian, Taoist.
So do you use the Bible for your teaching, or?
Whatever works. What works, not what's right or what's wrong. I want to know what works.
At the end of this life, in our end of our physical being, is there a heaven and hell?
I don't really know. I have some great theories about it, and I have some innate visceral experience of life being eternal and nothing ever dies. I believe life is a continuation, much like Monday follows Sunday.
So then what's the purpose of our existence here?
To live. So that our life is not just a good idea. I think that if we're not actually living, then spirit is nothing more than a good idea. This universal intelligence can imagine anything, but if it doesn't play its song, sing its song, dance its dance, if it doesn't move through its life, it's just a good idea. And I think that spirit's more than a good idea. I can imagine chocolate chip cookies, I can imagine flour, sugar, baking soda, butter, and if I don't actually bake the cookies, it's just a good idea.
We don't know if there's a heaven and hell after our physical existence.
I'm pretty darn sure there's not. Even Orthodox faiths are saying, well, hell's not a place, but a state of consciousness.
So are we experiencing that here in our lives then?
I do it daily, don't you? I mean, I have heaven experiences. I'm having a good hair day. And then I have hellacious experience. My heart is broken, or I find out that my neighbor's kid's on drugs, or people have a bang up on the freeway. So heaven and hell, I think, are moment-to-moment experiences. And what is your view on what's happening? Back to what works. That doesn't have to be right, and that doesn't have to be wrong in order for me to choose that and not that. That works and that doesn't, which is really liberating.
Then are you saying that we can actually create our own reality?
Yes, and this is where I find that my spirituality is not for me when I'm in sissy mode. There are consequences to the way I dwell inside here, what's going on in my inner committee, what you think you become. I mean, Orthodox traditions tell you it's done unto you as you believe, or as you sow, so shall ye reap. If I dwell upon unhappiness, it's pretty likely that I'm going to be unhappy.
And conversely, dwell upon happiness and you'll be happy.
Reverse that energy and find transformation.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for the individual interview part. And
Pleasure.
Come back in a minute and we'll do a little bit of a group think.
Good. I look forward to it.
Okay.